Okay, so let's try this again, shall we? Round two of change. And I apologize. Listen, so I guess we all live and learn, and now I know I have to have a backup copy to my laptop. So I was in the middle of telling y'all that, let's see here. How do I do this? Okay, so I'm using my cell phone, and I'm trying to figure out there we go. All right, gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe this is a lesson about change, right? And that is that sometimes when we expect things to go a certain way, that can create expectations. And when we have expectations, what that means is it means that if things don't go the way they're supposed to go, that's when we experience pain. That's when we experience anger, anxiety, craziness, right? And so in real time, right now, you saw change happening. And I just realized something. I think this is what the universe was trying to tell me. And that is that JB, maybe you got to show these peeps your maybe you got to show them your new office, which isn't exactly all set up quite just yet, but maybe it needs to. Okay. Aha, there we go. All right, so we're here. All right, so you guys are seeing. So I have this on the opposite view, and I just want to give you guys a quick little virtual tour, I suppose. But this is about change, right? Because I'm literally living in my dreams. So first of all, let me show you. This is a long hallway. You have to go here. But let's pretend you were coming to visit me. Don't mind the boxes. I'm still moving. And by the way, I'm still in the process of moving. So you walk in this way. You'll see this is going to be the studio. That's where I was just talking a few minutes ago about change and how it really does impact our life. And as you move this way, you'll see that I've got a nice little Buddha shrine all set up, ready right there. See, that's what gives me my inspiration. And then out of the window, you can see way far back, maybe not here in the video quality, but back over there is the airport. And then this actually used to be the Playboy penthouse. That's what I was told today. No longer is, I suppose. For all my straight guys out there, you might be interested in such a place, or all my lesbian friends, you would be interested in Playboy. And then this is the view I get to see. I get to see Central Avenue. This is Central Avenue right here, and then I get to look down onto the main thing. My Facebook user, I do apologize. You show up as Facebook user for me if you just want to tell me who you are, so I can say hi. But this is the view, and then there's something going under construction over here, right next to this like mall area. So if you're from the Phoenix area, you got an idea of where I'm staying. So this is my new view. And this is the reality that I woke up with when I came in the office this morning and thought to myself, this is the new life. This is the new beginning. Just like when my mother moved us from, hi, Lise, bonjour. Like when my mother moved us from Tucson here to Arizona, and I had no idea that I would be living one of my dreams. I mean, what a fantastic view. Lise, you can understand this. You live in a gorgeous apartment in Vancouver overlooking the lake and the buildings as well. So I get a taste of that, but from business. And then over here is my actual workstation. It is kind of a crazy mess right now because, again, I'm still unpacking. But this is my little workstation where I'll be working from. My friend Alex, I bought my painting with him. And yeah, this is my little workstation. So this is my new office that I'm going to be working out of. And then all future shows will be done right here on this chair, maybe, or maybe this chair when I bring on some guests. Um, and ooh, yes. All right, fantastic. It's clean and organized. Yes, I mean, I thought your apartment was just gorgeous. And by the way, Lise, I need to come to Vancouver because um, I need you to bless my two other new coats that I just bought because your blessings really saved my butt. So we'll go back to the front. There we go. Fantastic. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. So I was talking about change and how change creates this thing inside of us that panics us and makes us worried. And the question that's a natural question, which is, well, Jonathan, thank you so much. Aren't they gorgeous? Like I got them for almost nothing. You won't believe it. So my second office I used to be out of, which is in North Phoenix. someone moved out and they were selling them for like nothing. So they're leather chairs. Aren't they just gorge? Um, so change creates inside of us this uncertainty, right? It creates fear. It creates a whole bunch of other emotions. And the question is how do we overcome that? How do we as a result of change? And it all starts with, are you ready? It all starts with us having faith in ourselves, faith in others, faith around us, and more importantly, that we're going to not have attachment to the particular outcome. Just like right now, what happened in real time, you guys all saw that happening right here on my show, right? You saw that where things were just kind of falling apart real fast. And had I had the expectation that I had to film this in a particular setting, in a particular way, if I had to have it go a certain way because I pre-wrote a script, which by the way, I didn't, but if I had done all of that, then it could have all gone haywire and I could have been very upset and ruined my night and gone home and, who knows what. And the list goes on and on and on, as we're trying to say. And instead, we can practice this thing called non-attachment. And non-attachment is this concept. It's a belief that believes that at the end of the day, if we understand fundamentally deep down inside that nothing will go with us upon our transition into whatever we transition into, whether it's a whole new life, whether we get reincarnated, whether we just die and go into the dirt, who knows? But at the end of the day, it's about us realizing that nothing goes with us. It starts with that. It starts with a deep-seated understanding that nothing is going to go with us. The names we call ourselves, the titles we give ourselves, the money that we've made, the worldly possessions that we've possessed over time, this gorgeous building, this plant that I have right here, this guy, right, this gorgeous red chair, right? None of that will go with me when I pass. And if we all can get to that point of understanding that none of this whole world that's around us right now in the physical sense, does not go with us. It stays on, it keeps on going, just like, unfortunately, a lot of people have passed away, right? Life still goes on. People still live their lives. Tax firms still go on, right? This is the reality, is things still go on. And so if we can begin to understand and contemplate that, then what happens is something magical. And we can begin to use awareness and mindfulness to help us to overcome the attachment to the things around us, to the people, to the places, to the experiences, all of it. And it lets us to slowly let go of it. And that is the expectations behind it. Like, it doesn't mean that, okay, I'm going to die and be morbid and therefore why live, why acquire things, why fall in love, and why buy cars, and why be in fancy places, or why, like, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that it gives us an opportunity to say, well, listen, if something does not turn out the way it's supposed to turn out, then I can give myself permission and I can let it go. I can let go of the expectation. That's important when it comes to, for example, our businesses. Each one of us entrepreneurs, we woke up and we said, you know what, I'm tired of working for somebody, or I'm tired of someone else controlling my destiny. So I'm going to control it and I'm going to become self-employed. And that's what we do. And so when businesses doesn't quite go the way we expect it to go, instead of getting angry or getting depressed or giving up, instead we just ask ourselves, okay, well, maybe I will detach myself from what is going on. I will detach myself from the experience. I will let it go and just let the cards fall where the cards have to fall. And that will then allow us to have the breath to take, which then allows us to move forward so that we can fulfill our vision. That's right behind me right here. Fulfill our vision, right? To help fulfill our purpose. And that's what's important. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes patience. But what I can tell you is that it will happen. It will come into your life the way it's supposed to. This is what change brings about. Change brings us the ability to do something different than what we are normally expecting ourselves to do. Just like right there with the set a few minutes ago, expecting to sit there and have an hour-long conversation with people. And instead, change forced me to quickly improvise. And now I'm here holding the stick and holding my phone, and I'm doing what I love to do, ironically enough, which is to pace and talk, and doing that right now. Like, who knows? Maybe today is the start of Naked Tax Talk on a stick. You know what I mean? Of like doing the show. I don't know the sound quality yet because I'm using my Bose headphones, but all I know is that this is what change does. See, change can also be opportunity. Change can, instead of it looking at it as a negative, as in, ah, shit, like things are just going south, things are just terrible right now. We can also look at it in terms of opportunity. What's new with something that can come out of it? You saw in real time me joking, but as they say in every joke, there's some truth. You saw me joking about maybe this is the new way I do my show. Who knows? Maybe the idea of a static location will not be true anymore. We don't know. Because what opportunities comes from change. Just like originally when I started this at the first part of the program, right? Moving to Tucson was detrimental. It would actually start me writing in my journal every single day, because in my heart of hearts, I was so upset that I was being stripped out of my environment that I was used to and going to a whole new unfamiliar place, that I believed that if I died, someone could pick up these journals and read my experiences and see this traumatic experience that I had went through. Little did I know that those journals, from the time I was 14 years old, every day until I was 26 years old, little did I know that those journals would come to benefit me. I would be able to go back and read with a 30-plus-year-old mindset, read a 14-year-old's mindset. And from there, I was able to gleam into my past life even more and realize that I've been a champion of myself since the beginning of this time. I've been there telling myself that one day I'll be somebody someday. I was telling myself at the age of 17 years old that I would have so much money that I could travel anywhere I wanted to go. It happens. It happened. I go to Europe every few years. I even take my husband with me. We even did a road trip last year. I even went to Canada twice. That's where I met my amazing friend Lise. Like, this is my reality now. But at a young age, I was writing that in my journal, that I would have the ability to do that. I couldn't do it then because we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the money. But I knew deep in my heart that when I got older, that something amazing would happen. This is what change is. Change allows us to look at the opportunity and to accept it, just like it lets us take a look at, you know, as the setting out here, right? But as they say, oh, there we go. I don't know what happened. So I was trying to change the camera. Apparently it didn't work. But I was going to say, just like looking out here at the city view, like this is what change brings. Change brings this. Change brings us opportunities. In life, we only have two ways to think about things. We can only think about it in a negative way, or we can think of it in a positive way. And I personally find it easy to think positively. I don't know how easy it is for others, but what I can say, it starts with us first, asking ourselves, when has something that negatively has impacted me, when was the last time that it ruined me? And what we'll find is that nothing has ruined us at all. In fact, it's only brought us nothing but opportunities. So, back to this message about non attachment. If we can begin to slowly practice that and hold on to it, I can promise you that eventually every decision that comes into your business life, you'll be able to let go and be flexible and move with the times and move with the opportunities as they come to you. When it comes to our tax lives, it's the same thing. You know, if you've never worked with a certified tax coach or a certified tax planner like myself, and you've always worked with just not there's no dig at my accounting friends, but if you only just worked with your accountant once a year as you do your tax returns, and all of a sudden you find yourself meeting someone like me, that is change. That's an opportunity. It's kind of like sitting there in that chair on the last quick episode I just did to holding the stick right here in front of you. It's kind of like that. It's like allowing ourselves to open up to the possibilities of what it would be like to work with a certified tax coach or a certified tax planner, because it sounds scary, it looks scary, it feels scary, but that's what change is about. But what I can tell you is, just like when my mother moved me to Tucson, which is I'm here right now as a result of that, holding the stick now, looking at the camera, talking to you guys, it felt scary at the time. But oh boy, was the end of it super juicy. And it only gets better. And that's what happens when you work with tax planners and tax coaches like myself. At the end of the day, your tax life, you're used to doing it a certain way. You're used to not knowing what your tax bill is going to be at the end of the year. You're used to cutting a check at the end of the year. You are used to wondering, should I make estimated tax payments or not? You're even used to not even knowing where your financials are. Are you making money or are you losing money? Until change happens. And then you meet someone like me, like I said, that comes into your life and says to you, do you know that you could have a better life? Did you know that you could know what your tax bill is today by the end of the year? For the end of the year? Did you know that when you work with a planner like myself, that we also help you with your vision and help you accomplish it? How do we do that? By reducing your taxes. We do that by strategically helping you to deduct, to shift things, to strategically think about your retirement, which, by the way, I have a text question from one of my fans today that's about retirement. I'm going to talk about that. We have to have a lot of perseverance and push through it, right? Push, push, push. My other one over here is so that we can continue living our life's purpose. And of course, we never give up, which leads us to leadership, which gives us the ability to move forward. You know, when we save our clients money, it's not about like, oh, I can go buy a new bike, although we certainly can. It's about the opportunity to use the money so that maybe you want to invest it into the types of things that you enjoy doing. You know, maybe you enjoy having, the opportunity to speak and to inspire others. Well, it's kind of hard to do that if you're working behind a desk, worrying about your money, worrying about your taxes. But it's a hell of a lot easier if you know exactly what the end point is, so it can give you the time to sit here and have a conversation with people. That's what a tax planner does. That's what a certified tax coach does. Certified tax coach, certified tax planner. That's what we do. So, with that, I'm going to close it by saying that if you're interested in working with one of these peeps, including myself, I'm going to leave a comment post production here with a link that you can schedule to come on and come into my world and see what we could possibly do for you. Because that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is to impact and change your life. And although it might feel scary, although it might look scary and sound scary, the end result could be like one of my clients that we just did an analysis for, where we're saving them $18,000 in taxes in 2020 during COVID. $18,000. That's like a newish car. That is tuition to a private university. That is a major donation to a charity of your choice. That is hiring part-time staff to help you take off some of the load so that you can go do the things you like to do. That's a lot of opportunity right there. So with that, I'm going to get off my sales pitch coaching situation here and shift over to a tax question from one of my clients. And also, yes, one of my fans as well. So the question comes from Scott, and Scott asks, what is the benefit of a SEP, which is a self-employment pension plan, and when should I contribute to it? All right, so we're going to talk about the SEP, S-E-P, self-employment pension plan. And if you're a Canadian or you're not American, I don't know if this exists in your country, but maybe the principles might apply. So here's how it works. When you go into business for yourself, Uncle Sam loves it because Uncle Sam's like, if you experience a loss in your business, which most businesses do for the first 5 years of their existence, you're going to have a loss, which means you're not going to necessarily pay taxes. And you're not going to pay into what we call self-employment tax, which is FICA tax, which is also known as Social Security and Medicare. And you're not going to necessarily pay ordinary income taxes if you're self-employed. And that's all you have. Now, mind you, for my tax experts out there, I'm assuming they don't have other jobs. I'm assuming they don't have passive income. I'm just strictly saying they're in business for themselves, and that's it. So what happens is Uncle Sam knows that. And he goes, Social Security benefits and Medicare benefits are provided to those that pay into the system when they need the money when they get older and retire. So if you are an employee or if you are an employee, you already are automatically paying into this program to the tune of 7.65% of your total take home pay, with limitations. But I digress. So imagine you've been paying into Social Security and Medicare as an employee. But when you are an employer, okay, and you're the one in charge of your own business like me, at the end of the day, your net profit will be subjected to FICA tax and ordinary income tax if you're a sole proprietor or even or potentially, I don't want to get complicated here because, okay, I'll say it. If you're an S corporate owner, and there's some rules there, so I don't really want to go into that too deep. But point is Uncle Sam knows, like, okay, so you're gonna have a loss, which means you're not gonna pay into the system, which means that when you get old and gray and you go to retire, guess what? Your Social Security benefits are going to be very freaking low. Why? Because you weren't spending your entire lifetime paying into the system, mandatory, because you weren't an employee. You were the business owner subjecting yourself to losses. Now, there's some loopholes here, especially if we're using the C Corp or the S Corp, but I digress. So this is what happens. So, we have to ask ourselves, how does the business owner then cover their own retirement, right? Uncle Sam doesn't want to carry the bill. He's already made that clear. So instead, he goes, business owner, have I got something for you? And he calls it different things. So for today's purposes, the question is about self-employed pension plans, a SEP. So I'm not talking about self-directed 401ks. I'm not talking about self-directed IRAs. I'm not talking about IRAs. I'm not talking about Roths. Like the list goes on. I'm talking about SEPs only, okay, and very limited. So Uncle Sam says, well, you know what? You can contribute a maximum of $59,000. I believe it's $59,000 for 2020. Say what again? Yes, you can cut a check for $59,000 and stick that into a retirement account called the SEP. And your financial advisor, like Abby Vick or any of the others out there, they then take said money and then they put into different things, and then it grows, right, with dividends, interest, and the like. Like this is what the SEP money does. Now, because it's a business-related expense, all right, the SEP then becomes deductible as a business-related expense inside of your business. Huh? Yeah. So if I have profitable income and now I contribute money to a SEP program, it reduces my income. Now, I will say this, there are limits, like on everything. So 59,000 is the max. But Uncle Sam says, or the lesser of 25% of your wages. Say what? Well, basically what he's saying is that we have to run some calculations to actually determine what is the amount that you can actually contribute to your SEP with a max of 59. But there's a whole bunch here. 59 is your max, but then there's all those other variables. So that's where working with a financial planner and a certified tax coach and a certified tax planner come in handy, because we then plan out, okay, so you know what? I'll use Lise since she popped up here on my comments. Okay, Lise, so since you made $100,000 in profits, let's calculate your retirement for your future. Now we can. And Uncle Sam does something really cool in this scenario. Uncle Sam also knows that because it's like last minute planning, which is traditional, remember, unless you meet me or someone like me and then change happens. Because it's last minute, and because the government says that at 12:31, 11:59 p.m. is the cutoff date. All right, that's it. Nothing past that, right? Do not pass go. Like at the end of the year is at 12:31, 11:59 p.m. is the end of the year. Which means that if I spend money in January, technically it does not affect the prior year, except for the SEPs. There's a loophole here, and also my IRAs and my Roth contributions, but it's a whole other topic. So yes, thank you. So I'm glad you're learning so much from me. Yay. So, and I do apologize. If this is Lee's, this is great. And if not, let me know who you are so I can at least address you. Okay. So now what's happening is you got the SEP, all right? I'm going to deduct it on my tax return, thereby reducing my taxable income, therefore paying less in tax. Because the incentive is Uncle Sam wants us to take care of ourselves down the road. That's the whole purpose why we went into business ownership, to control our destiny. And what a great way then to control our future. So here's what Uncle Sam says. 12:31, 11:59 p.m. If you make anything after that, it's a no-go, except for the SEP, the Roths, and the IRAs, which means that I have until the deadline, the filing deadline of the return. And I'm speaking very carefully here because different entities have different deadlines. Okay. So the deadline is extended typically to like potentially March or April. That's cool. Because if we, well, actually, we would have already planned this out for you well in advance. But let's say, for example, you're reactionary and you're like, oh, what can I contribute? You can calculate that very quickly. Well, not too quickly, because let me tell you, there is some work behind it. I'm not gonna lie. And all my accounting buddies out there will tell you it's not just a click of a button, honeys. It's some serious strategies. So the point is that we would say to you, so Lise, guess what? We want you to contribute. You can contribute $5,000 this year to your SEP. And you're going to be like, yay. And then I'm going to say your total tax savings is going to be like $1,000 or whatever the case may be. I'm just hypotheticals here. You're going to like that because it's really only costing you $4,000, right? Because otherwise you'd give the government more money. So you turn around and you have from January to either March or April to come up with $5,000. That's cool because it gives you like 4 months to really find the money. You might have to borrow it because here's the rules. That shit's got to be funded by those deadlines. Otherwise, it's a no-go, which means you can't deduct it, which means my income tax goes up. It's just a nightmare. So the point is that it gives you time to come up with the money to give it to your financial advisor so that they can invest the money for you on your behalf. Now, caveat, that SEP is taxable to you when you retire and take the money out. So it's subjected to income tax when you do that. Now there's some strategies there and we can talk about that in another show, whatever. But the point is when you retire, it becomes taxable. Now, why is that? Well, it turns out that Uncle Sam says that if a business takes a deduction, someone has to pick up the tax on the benefit down the road. And in this particular case, it happens to be you. You're taking the benefit today by reducing your taxable income, by deducting it from your taxes, and receiving the benefit of it later in the future, henceforth subjected to taxation. Unless we use other strategies, which I'm not going to go into, which means you're going to have a conversation with me, because we can talk about that and really truly plan this out for you. So that's really what happens with a SEP. So I hope that answered his question. So it is the SEP. What can I contribute? Well, you just talked about that. And then the benefits. And I just talked about that too, right? Taxable down the road, totally tax-free to you in the sense that you get to deduct it today. So if you're a sole proprietor or you're an S Corp shareholder or a C Corp shareholder and you're getting wages, and if you're a solopreneur, not subjected to wages, because nobody paying yourself wages if you're a sole proprietor on a Schedule C, you better not be doing that crap, then we should have a conversation. So again, I'm going to put my link in the comments when I get off my phone so you can book an appointment with me so that we can talk and strategically think about and strategize your future. Now, here's something interesting. This happened to me that I have to share with you an epiphany. Well, sort of. And then I got to get off because I've been on it for an hour. And it goes like this. So I had a sales-ish conversation with a person that has a product. And it was definitely about the future. So it was in the future, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. And what they were proposing, I wasn't necessarily buying. And it's just my own personal belief around what was going on with the situation. But when I asked the question if I could use it in my business and can I use it with my clients, and they basically said no, that it was really for uh, for personal use. I told them that I was out. I can't do it. Why? Well, because I understand that Uncle Sam incentivizes this, just like with the sub contribution. I understand that, so I know I am incentivized to go do it, to go spend the money, to shift the income, to invest in retirement, to find tax free loopholes, whatever it takes, right? Government incentivizes me, but because it wasn't there, my answer was no. So, of course, the response was, like every good salesperson said, wow, do you mean to tell me that your write offs are more important than saving you this product here in the future? And when I was told that, when they said that to me, in myself, in my mind, in my body of who I am, I realized something. This is the beautiful thing about tax planning. Tax planning is about today. If you're a person who likes right now results, if you're a person who likes instant results, if you're a person who likes to see the money stay in your savings account right now, today, then tax planning is the way to go. It's not about tomorrow. It's not about the future. It's about right now. Right now. Quite literally, right now. Meaning that if I want to, I can go outside, call up one of my clients, call up one of my referral buddies, call up anybody that does business in one form or another and say, "Hey, let's go get a drink and have happy hour and have a glass of wine together." I can do that with the confidence knowing that Uncle Sam's going to subsidize a portion of that, which is in my book, The ABCs of Deductions. But if it's personal, there's no benefit there. And as a result, I could not invest my money because there was no incentive from the government to do it. And plus, it was about the future, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. And that's okay. And that's fine. But for me, it just was not the time. And that's okay, right? Because a no doesn't always mean like never and forever. It just means no right now. Like maybe when I have enough personal cash flow, I'll pick up the phone and say, "Hey, now I'm interested in what you have to offer." But from a business perspective, if the incentive is not there, I'm not buying it. That's just how government works because it's incentivizing me to do that. So essentially, what I wanted to say was this: tax planning is about right now. The effects are right now, not tomorrow, not 20 years down the road, not 100 years down the road. Now, yes, some degree, yes, but if you want immediate savings, now is the time. I can't help you on December 31st at 11:59 p.m. I can't help you. I can't help you on January 1 of 2021 for your 2020. I can't do that. None of us can as certified tax coaches and planners. We can't. It's out of the question. But what we can do is help you today to make sure that today you save the money. So I'm going to put a link again. You're going to hook up with me. We're going to have a conversation and find out how we can help each other. Okay. Um, Thank you so much. Yes, I explained it so well in simple. Can I actually display this? I can. Okay. So cool, cool, cool. So yes, we have gorgeous. We've got great message. Thank you. Thank you. So good. Thank you. Learning so much. Thank you. Thank you. That's my goal. And then you explained it so well in simple language. Thank you. And it is really simple. Like, don't get me wrong now. Just because it's simple does not mean it's easy. And does not mean that it's not complex. Like there's a lot of complexity. And there's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of variables in all what I talk about. So unfortunately, you can't just take what I say on my show and then try to do it yourself. I mean, I guess you could, but the effects would be detrimental. So that's why, we have to still confirm with a professional like myself, an IRS enrolled agent, a CPA, a certified tax coach, certified tax planner. Until then, I'm Jonathan Bengal. Thank you so much for letting me talk to you about change. And you saw it in real time what happens with change, because with change comes opportunities. Have a blessed, amazing night. And at the end, don't you remember, at the end of it, remember, it's con mucho, mucho, mucho dinero is coming your way.